My parents threw away my entire childhood to become one of those traveling RV families, and I hate them for it every day. Posted by you/Educational Army 915. My parents decided when I was only around 7 years old, far too young to have an opinion on anything, to pack us up and move into an RV to travel around the US. My dad works online, and my mom makes content online. She's not huge by any means, but big enough that we get recognized sometimes and big enough that I've had a camera shoved in my face for as long as I can remember. For my privacy's sake, I won't say anything else about that, and I'm using a throwaway account because I've gotten enough attention already, and I'm sick of it. I sleep in a tiny bunk bed that I outgrew years ago, and the other bunk is the only space I have to put anything I own. I don't even have a room, just a curtain, and thank God I'm an only child, or else I would have to share the small space I already have. I was homeschooled for most of my education and then switched to online school at my own insistence for high school. I'm an 18-year-old girl. I don't have a single friend in person because the longest I've ever stayed anywhere is a month. I don't have a job and no way to get one because I'm not stationary, unless I find one online, which also means I have no way to move out and get away from them. I've had conversations with them about all of this countless times, and they are so delusional and genuinely believe that a nomadic existence is the best way to live, so why would I ever need anything else? I hate them for treating me like some pet they can just drag along in their plans rather than their child. I hate traveling, I don't like heat, I hate dealing with bugs, and I'm so sick of hiking. I can't wait for the day that I finally figure out a way to get away from them, their morning hikes, and cameras in my face. I've traveled around the US, yeah, but God forbid I want to have a normal life, go to college, or maybe even make some friends. That's asking too much. Update 2 weeks later. Hello, barely over a week ago, I made a post talking about my very negative experience living in an RV with my parents for around 10 years now. Despite it being such a short time since I posted, a lot has changed for me. I don't know how many people here would be interested in an update on my situation, but I know quite a few were very concerned and would probably appreciate one, so here it is. Also, fair warning, this is a fairly lengthy post, I have a tendency to ramble. I had a lot of people give me really helpful advice, resources, and even offers to help personally, some being questionable, admittedly, but the majority being genuinely concerned and wanting to help. I very much appreciate that. It was slightly overwhelming, to be honest, and I ended up not responding to a lot of people, so you'll all have to forgive me for that. But even if I didn't respond much, I have been researching a lot of the information people gave me. Something that stood out to me was people asking if I had any family I could stay with, to which I had to respond, not that I know of, because I don't have anyone on my dad's side of the family, and my mom has strictly no contact with hers. I did not know if they were alive, if they cut her off, if she cut them off, or even any details about them, and my mom had never wanted to talk about it. What little information I did have was my mom's maiden name, which is pretty uncommon, and where she was born. In terms of trying to find family, that can actually get you surprisingly far, I've come to realize. I've always had a slight hatred for the internet because I never had a choice in my life being public knowledge, and I know that once something is out there, it's out there. But for the first time, I'm actually really grateful for the internet. I was able to find some information on my mother's side of the family and, specifically, was able to find my grandma's Facebook account, though it did take some effort. After a lot of stress over how to approach messaging her, or if I even should, as well as considering the potential outcomes, I messaged her, explaining my mom's life, who I was, and my situation. I won't go into details about why my grandma and my mom are no contact because that is not my story to share, but my grandma was appalled that she had a granddaughter she didn't even know about, especially considering the way my mother raised me. I found out I have an aunt and an uncle, both of whom my grandma told about me and my situation. I've been in pretty much constant contact with all of them since, just learning about each other. All of them want to help me get out of this living situation with my parents, and luckily, with me being 18 now, it's actually possible. Again, I don't feel entirely comfortable going into details, but I have arrangements to stay with my aunt, who lives in a big city on the West Coast that has a lot of potential opportunities for me to start college or whatever I see fit, which I'm happy to announce I do plan on figuring out. My uncle has kids, but my aunt lives on her own and has a spare bedroom, which she has no problem letting me stay in for as long as necessary. I have a train ticket scheduled and purchased by my aunt and enough money to get to the station. I'm currently talking with my family, still feels weird to type, and trying to plan out the details, like how or if I'm going to tell my parents. My mom doesn't have any information on where her family lives, so even if I were to tell my parents who I'm going to live with, they wouldn't know where I was specifically. Someone pointed out that if I do leave without telling them, I should leave a note or some form of proof that I left willingly. So if I opt out of a conversation, I'm planning on either leaving a note or filming a video explaining my plans and why I'm leaving, which would be kind of ironic, wouldn't it? Regarding my mom's filming, I've been very quiet around my parents and just refusing to talk when the camera is on, but so far, neither of them has mentioned it, luckily. Speaking of my mom's content, I'd like to emphasize something quickly. Almost everyone was genuinely trying to help, but I had a few people replying and trying to guess who I was. Luckily, the few I saw were basically torn to shreds and ended up deleting their comments. I also had a few people message me privately, trying to guess my identity, which, at least, wasn't public, I guess. While I understand the curiosity, I posted anonymously with very little personal information for a reason. As I stated in my previous post, I have gotten enough attention, and I'm very much sick of it. I would really appreciate it if you all could respect that. Even if you think you might know who I am, please don't make public guesses and understand that I don't want this to become even more public information tied to my name. Very long story short, I have set plans to leave, as well as a safe place to go with my aunt once I do, and I very much appreciate how many people have been so willing to help. If you had told me not even 2 weeks ago that I would not only have a plan to move away from my parents but also have contact with family members I didn't even know existed, I don't think I would have believed it. I'm currently not planning on making another update post, but I wanted to let anyone who was concerned about me know that there's no need to worry. Genuinely, thank you. Relevant comments. Commenter. You're willing to walk away from your life and leave a note behind before letting her explain herself? I'm unhappy about the life you've had, and I have sympathy for your upbringing, but unless your parents have actually abused you, abandoning them and believing everything your new family says is pretty messed up. Do you hate your mother? You are free to leave at your age, but this is extreme. I'd go into shock if my kid up and left, even at 18, and even if they told me there were problems. I'd feel incredibly betrayed if my child left like that to be with family I'm no contact with. If you can't get any explanation for why your mother doesn't talk to them, maybe you aren't able to tell if they're lying to you. You know your social skills are lacking, you're going to tell them whatever they want to know, allowing them to hurt your mother even more. I couldn't forgive my child's betrayal like this, though I would always love them. But I made amazingly stupid decisions at 18, convinced I knew better than anyone around me. As an adult, I only have relationships with 2 or 3 family members. My mother hasn't seen me or my kid in years and years. Maybe that will be you? You will definitely have a different life. I hope it's a better one. Ops response. Question: have you ever seen the Harry Potter movie scene where his room is under the stairs and thought to yourself, wow, he actually has enough room to sit up in bed and a door? I have, multiple times, actually. I'm very willing to abandon them just to not have to feel like that anymore. Commenter 2. Be careful, you don't really know your mom's family. I know it seems like a way out. Just be careful. Ops response. I absolutely will be. Why my mom isn't in contact with them makes total sense, and none of it was their fault, plus, they were able to send me evidence of that. But despite that, I definitely don't know them personally yet. My train out isn't scheduled immediately or anything, and I'm going to continue talking with them until then, but they do seem to be genuinely concerned and trustworthy. Plus, my aunt, who I'll be staying with, seems super nice, and we've already figured out that we have certain things in common. Second update 2 months later. Hello, it's been a while, and I wanted to check in on here to hopefully give a few people some peace of mind. In my last update, I explained that I had gotten in contact with my mother's side of the family and had a place to stay. I can proudly announce that I did it. I'm in a safe place now, completely away from my parents, with absolutely zero contact. My aunt is an absolute angel, truly. She's so kind, and that's not even including my grandma and uncle. When I first got here, my aunt and grandma took me out on a little shopping spree. They bought me clothes, decor, and furniture for my room, because I have one of those now, and honestly, anything they thought I would need. My uncle introduced me to my cousins. He has a younger son and a daughter who's very close in age to me, and I'd say we've become friends. I've been able to go out and do a lot of fun little things with her. My aunt is currently helping me research colleges near us, but she has reassured me that I can do everything at my own pace and that there's really no rush, that her home will always have a spot for me. My aunt, in general, is such a cool person. She's someone I very quickly started to look up to and have gotten close to. The more time we spend together, the more we realize we actually have a lot in common. I'm just so grateful to all of them for being here and being so supportive. My aunt is also really helping me figure out who I am as an individual. For the first time, I'm in charge of my identity, what I share and who I share it with. I dyed and cut my hair, got a nickname and have been exclusively going by it. My cousin is currently on a journey to help me learn what makeup I like. She's also introducing me to her favorite music groups as a self proclaimed cringe but free K pop fan. I have an entirely private Instagram account with all of 5 followers, and I plan on keeping it that way. I just feel like a normal teenage girl for once, and I've never felt happier. When I look in the mirror or just think about my life in general, I'm actually happy with it. I guess I never realized that I wasn't comfortable in my identity as a person because, honestly, I had bigger things to worry about. This is all more than I could have ever imagined, and honestly, I have a hard time even processing it sometimes. But I am officially in therapy now. So maybe I can start working on that, as well as processing my past and how it plays into my identity in the future. My new therapist is actually part of the reason I'm making this update. She thinks that posting this could be a good way to get closure to a certain extent. It's a way of acknowledging what I went through while also moving on into my new life, because I have my whole future ahead of me, one that I am very excited to experience. So, keeping that in mind, this will be my final update on here. I want to be able to enjoy my life and future while keeping my privacy. A lot of people really wanted me to share my story more, to expose my past, but for now, I've decided against that. It's my story, and I can choose to share it or not. For once, I have control over who gets to know what information about me, and I'm not willing to give that up yet. But I suppose I don't know what the future holds. So, I'm asking as nicely as possible that people please respect that. I absolutely appreciate the support and advice so many have given me. Just know that I'm safe. I can honestly say that I'm happy. I'm planning out my future, what I want to do with my life, and who I am beyond just a persona on camera. So, thank you so much for everything, and goodbye.